Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and thank you for checking out today's video. I know I just customized these headlights not too long ago and it's a shame to be pulling them out so quick, but I promise you it's worth it. These headlights are years in the making and I'm super excited to finally have a solid copy to put in my car. Ironically, 3 years ago, I actually had those headlights, or one of those, in the car on my 2020 WRX, and it made it into one of my YouTube videos and nobody caught it. A totally different headlight in my car and nobody picked up on it. Basically, I got a prototype and we had to test fit them and make sure everything was good with them 3 years ago, and we finally have them today. Now, I recommend if you want to set these to act fast because, well, I hate to say it, the VA is kind of like dying off and all the attention's on the VB, so everybody is making products for the VB. These products were made 3 years ago and we just got our hands on them, so I'm super excited to have them. Now, I don't know how many they're going to make or how long they're going to last, so if you like them, check them out. I'll leave a link in the description for these new Noble lights. I'm going to be pulling this bumper off. We'll be putting the headlights in. They are very easy to install, plug and play everything, and we will just pop them in, take these stock lights out, and I'll show you guys all the features of them. We'll pop our hood, we will remove all of the 10mm bolts and clips on top, the pop clips on the side and the bottom, and we'll pop our bumper off. Hey buddy. We're popping the bumper off again for, look, you got dirt all over you. Axel, how many times do you think I popped the bumper off this thing already? How many times? Like 10 already? Now we just got to do the two pop tabs on the headlight and the 10mm bolts holding it on. Then we can pull the headlight bracket, pull the headlight, and disconnect it from the plug. All right, so here's our new headlight. Then we'll just grab our harness here, and I'm going to take this twisty tie off so that we can extend our wire. All right, so this is the wire for the turn signal that's going to get fed down, and this is the wire for the daytime running light, and that is going to get fed down. But we can grab our harness and we can plug it in to the factory plug. Make sure you hear that click. And then these wires can get routed down. I'm going to feed them right down here beside this frame support. So with that plugged in and those wires down below, we can situate our headlight and get that into place. We can pull this off. We don't need that anymore. So while we have this held up, I'm going to grab the top pop clip and I'm going to push that in. This is just going to hold this headlight in place while we get the rest of this done. Then we'll take our bracket and wrap it around the headlight. All right, perfect. We got this headlight in. I'm going to go do the other one and then I'll show you guys the wiring. All right, guys, so we have both headlights installed. I want to show you quickly how to wire these up. Super simple. So here's all the wires that come with the headlights. You get a little user manual here, and then you get this harness, which is our DRL harness. I'll show you that here in just a second. But these here, we have one for each side, are going to plug into your factory turn signal / fog light harness. So we just have to push in on that, disconnect it, and then we will connect this one up as a jumper. All right, so there you guys can see the jumper is installed. So we just put that harness in between our two factory connections, and then there's a white wire that comes out and connects to the yellow wire coming from the headlight. So here's your red wire, and what they want you to do is to take this out of fuse, come up here to your fuse panel and pop it out by pressing the two tabs here on the side and lifting up on the lid. And we already have an add a fuse there for these Noble fog bezels. And so I'm not going to be adding the add a fuse there. So that is the easy plug and play option. However, that is not going to make your headlights function correctly as a DRL. They are only going to come on with the headlights on. And if you buy color changing headlights, you of course want to be able to see just the C light lit up, just the color changing C light, and that's it. So if you want to do it that way, let me show you how. All right, so we have our DRL power wire here. This is the add a fuse section, and it basically goes up and it gets plugged into the headlight power wire, and then it splits out and it goes, I have it routed underneath this crash beam. Don't mind the yellow tape. You don't see that when the bumper's on, but if that's not there, this falls off. And then it gets routed up and it gets plugged into the headlight on this side. And that's it. So if you guys haven't already unhooked your factory DRL, it's this box located under your headlight with this connector here. Obviously you'll have your wires going to it, but you can disconnect that, or you can just cut the wires like I did here, or you can use a T-tap, but we need this green wire. So you can either use a T-tap if you're familiar with those. Your green wire will basically just be connected like this, and then you'll tap your T-tap in there with the red wire connected. But all we have to do is connect this wire here to this green wire. So I actually already have a connector on here, which I don't need this anymore. So we're going to grab our red wire and I'm going to cut it. We don't need all of this length. I'll probably cut it to right about there. Then we're just going to strip a little bit of this off. There's no power running to these wires, so don't just completely disregard these. It's fine. We're going to take our new heat shrink connector and we are going to slide both of these, the green and the red, into this connector. Take my wire crimper and crimp down that connector. Then I'm going to take a little torch here and I'm just going to heat this up to shrink the connection. All right, so we have that heat shrink connector on there. That's going to ensure that we stay connected and it stays weather tight, and we're good to go. So before I put the bumper back on, I'm gonna just double check, test that everything works properly, and if it's all good to go, I'm gonna slap this bumper back on and then I'll show you the finished product. All right guys, so we are completely successful. I wanna show you how this works with it wired this way before we go ahead and show you all the lighting functions. So right now, the car is running with the e-brake down, and there's no headlight, no parking light, no lights are turned on at all. This is functioning as the DRL, as it should, and it looks fantastic. There's no other lights on in the car, so as you're driving down the road all the time, daytime or nighttime, these are gonna be lit up. If you pull up on the e-brake, that is going to turn the headlights off. If I flip it to parking lights, whether the e-brake is up or not, that is going to turn on the C light and the parking lights. So now the car is completely off with the parking lights on. You can see that they're still lit up. And then we'll go ahead, we'll turn the headlights on. So same thing with the headlights on. The C light and parking light are both lit up. And let's check out our turn signals. So there's those sequential turn signals. And here it is next to the Noble turn signal in the bumper. All right, guys, there we are. That is the finished product with both headlights in the car. And I know my custom headlights looked good, but they were still just stock headlights that were painted up nice. This looks really cool. Just so much more aggressive. I really, really do think that a good set of headlights does a lot for the front end of this car. And I really think those look good. And I love the clear side marker. I love that it's not a orange side marker. I think the clear looks really good, especially on this black car. I think that looks awesome. So you guys are going to go to your app store. You're going to look for the Happy Lighting app. You're going to find this one right here, and you're going to download it. Once you have it downloaded, it'll automatically, if you are synced to Bluetooth, it'll automatically find these lights. And there you can see I have them set to like an orange, copper, kind of amber color right now. But as quick as a touch, green, blue, yellow, pink. And then RGB is kind of like a purplish blue tinted white. And then this button right here will end up being a white light. Now I did notice when you switch to a white light, they do dim a little bit. They're not quite as bright. But that white light is available. So there you can see the white light. And again, there's the RGB, the red, blue, all the fun colors. I mean, that looks freaking cool, guys. That looks super cool. So again, touch of a finger, you can just change these lights however you want. All right, so this video would not be complete if I didn't show you the brightness of the low beam and the high beam. So let's go take a quick drive and we'll see how it looks. All right, guys, here are the new headlights. This is the low beam. This is the high beam, low beam, high beam. You can see there's a pretty strong cutoff line on these. I did lift it up a little bit because right out of the box they were a little low. I couldn't see very far in front of me. So they work the same way like your factory headlights would. You just put a screwdriver down in the adjustment. There's like a little gear and you turn it left or right to lift them up or down. So same as any standard headlight, but you can see again low beam and high beam, and it's not even fully dark outside yet, and you can see how bright these are. All right guys, that is going to be it for today's video. Like I said, you may want to act fast and get these because I don't know how many is going to be made, but I will leave a link in the description for you to check out if you want to get a set of these for yourself, and I will see you guys in the next video.